to go on somebody's radio and say, and I'm not saying that these people even believe what they're saying or meant it in any way other than to fuck with him, which is likely.
Which is stupid to do because it was
still dumb.
After the race, and he was five minutes after the race.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I mean, you shouldn't say it anyways.
Yeah, it's
bad timing.
It's dumb. It's just dumb. It puts a black eye on NASCAR, and it fuels the
fire.
It fuels the critics and the liberal mindset of everyone is racist and this, that, and the third. And I'm of the mindset that most NASCAR fans aren't racist. Now, I'm sure there's some out there, but there's racist basketball fans and football fans, and
people probably think we're racist.
Probably think we are. But it's in situations you have to be more, and these guys were probably drunk and just trying to be funny and trying to impress their friends and this, that, and the third.
Well, my thing is they're drunk. How the hell did they get through to Bubba like that? That's wild. I know it's public communication but that's still.
What I'm trying to say is like, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, as far as like, if I was Bubba Wallace, I would not really give a fuck. But still, you have to be more cognizant of what you're saying, who you're saying it to, where you're saying it, and what impact that's going to have. You have to just shut the fuck up sometimes. Like, would you say that to Bubba's face? No. If Bubba was standing, if you were walking down the street and Bubba Wallace came out, you'd probably say, "Oh, hey, Bubba Wallace, I'm a huge NASCAR fan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I don't root for you, but holy shit, that's Bubba Wallace."
You wouldn't even say I don't root for you. Just be like, I'm a NASCAR. Nice to meet you.
But you wouldn't say what you said.
I get a picture.
Yeah, you wouldn't say what you said.
Yeah.
Now, it's just dumb. Like I said, it just puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Now, do I think that's probably going to be blown out of proportion? Do I think that the media is going to use this and perpetuate an argument that is probably not true? Sure. But as a person, you have to think about what your words and how your actions are going to affect people, whether they're right, wrong, or not. You have to think about, is what I'm going to say going to get out there and shine a bad light on me, on my people, on the event? You have to think about that.
Just ask Kyle Larson.
Yeah, and these folks, and I don't think nobody thinks Kyle Larson's racist, but
I think there's people that still do, probably.
Maybe, but I don't think Bubba Wallace thinks Kyle Larson's racist. I don't think Kyle Larson's racist. I don't think the guys that said these words today or Sunday are racist. I think they were just trying to be funny and impress each other and say, "Hey, watch this! Look what I can do." Mm-hmm. And it's just dumb, and it's unfortunate because, like I said, we as NASCAR fans get a bad stigma of being the racist people. You think about the noose pull down garage lever thing a couple years ago. Whenever anybody is critical of Bubba Wallace, you automatically get branded as racist. And it's because of people doing things like this that give them ammunition to say, well, look at what everybody else has done. Look what this guy said on Bubba's radio, or look at this tweet that somebody sent to Bubba Wallace. If you are against Bubba Wallace, you don't like Bubba Wallace as a driver, you must be racist because look at this evidence. Look at these people on his radio. Look at these tweets. Look at this, that, and the third. So it's difficult to be critical of Bubba Wallace because of jackasses that get on his radio and say stupid shit. So now when I am critical of Bubba Wallace for throwing the middle finger up, which I'm about to be, when I'm critical about him doing that, nobody's going to listen to what I say, the content of what I say. They're going to think that I'm racist, just like this guy that got on his radio. So it makes it difficult to be critical of him. So if you are critical of him, like this guy probably is, he probably doesn't like Bubba Wallace, but it takes away the merit of his argument when you say stupid shit like that. So that's really all I've got to say about it.
I got a lot to say on this, and then, we'll get into what Bubba did also, because, Bubba is not completely innocent, not in that situation, but we're going to get to his little post-race thing that has been talked about. So I agree with almost everything you're saying. It's never right to do what these guys did. Not like I said, I agree with you. I think it was a joke. Just trying to be cool in front of their friend, or just, drunk. When you're drunk, I guarantee these guys this guy was probably drunk. You're not thinking completely accurately and how you probably should think. We know experience on that, but as far as that goes, but it was just stupid, man. It's just not needed in this sport. And I know you have some of these things a lot go on and in other sports, like, but here's the thing, you really don't hear other sports with other fans get as much criticism as we NASCAR fans do with stuff like this. NBA fans, NFL fans, they say shit that is probably very similar to this in football and basketball games, baseball games, but they never get talked about as much as NASCAR fans do. And that's a problem, and I'm not defending this guy at all. I'm not trying to defend what he said, but it's just the truth. When something like this happens, NASCAR, they'll get the headlines for it because that's what NASCAR fans are profiled as, being redneck, southern white people. And with the climate of this country and this world, that's not the best demographic to be in right now, because if you disagree with anybody that is a minority, you're considered racist. So it was wrong. It doesn't belong in this sport. Like I said, I'm not saying it was right or justified by what he said. It was stupid. And like you said, it takes away from Bubba's actions, because Bubba is not a perfect human being. Nobody in this world is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but it seems like when it comes to this type of stuff, the certain amount of people cannot do any wrong, and the other type of people cannot do any right. And that's just the climate we live in today. So it doesn't need to be in this sport. It was not right by what he said. Like you said, he's probably just trying to be funny, trying to get in Bubba's head or whatever, trying to, get one last little dig in, because, he got booed all weekend, and, he ran great, and I'm sure he probably didn't like that, so he's just trying to be an idiot. I mean, that's an idiotic move by what he did. It doesn't belong in the sport, but there's two sides to the coin here as far as Bubba, because he did something that I think not enough people are talking about. Do you want to go ahead and get into that?
Sure. So on Sunday after the race, he was having an interview with Jamie Little, and he did the whole, I'm going to scratch my beard with my middle finger up, throwing up a middle finger. And
he held it for like half a second.
Yeah, he didn't just do that. I mean, it was a,
yeah.
But so at first we thought somebody might have been heckling him. That's what the consensus was. Somebody was heckling him, so he's throwing his middle finger up. Comes out that NASCAR saying that it was actually a buddy of his that was talking some shit or something. Nobody knows what was going on, but it was a buddy. So he was kind of, doing that to his buddy. Maybe his buddy was trying to distract him, whatever, make him look like an asshole on TV, whatever. Something that I would do. But the issue is, you're on TV because Jamie Little's talking to you, asking you a question. And you just got to have better wherewithal than to throw up a middle finger. Now, do I think that he should have been penalized or anything? No, I don't think NASCAR should penalize him because they didn't penalize Chase Elliott when he threw up middle fingers at Darlington. They didn't penalize Josh Berry. They didn't penalize whoever Christian Eckes. They hadn't penalized anybody that has ever used that middle finger. Now, do I think they should have? No. Do I think they should penalize Bubba? No. Do I think Bubba should have done it the way he did it? No. It's on character for him. This is the type of thing he does. This is why he's unliked by a lot of NASCAR fans. It's not because, like we were talking about earlier, it's not because of the color of his skin. It's because of the way he operates as a human being. When things don't go his way, this is what is just blasphemy to me. So I watch Black Flags Matters video about this, and he loves it. He loves the way Bubba's acting right now. So Bubba comes out, driver introductions, and he does the Kyle Busch, wipes his tears and all that, and he's playing up to the boos and whatever, which is fine, but it's hypocritical because Bubba Wallace is the one that literally cries when things don't go his way. When he wrecks or when he runs bad or when he finishes second at Michigan, he's crying on national television because things did not go the way he wanted them to. He's the one that does this.
Now, he's gotten better as far as that goes. Like, he didn't cry after the All-Star race finishing second. But go ahead.
That's fair.
He's getting better.
But he's the person that does that. He's the one that complains. Yeah. He's that guy.
And we criticized Kyle Busch for years for doing this. He didn't cry on national television, but he would give short answers, not give them. Sometimes he'd just fucking walk away.
Yeah, but Kyle Busch won.
I understand. I'm just saying.
That's my problem with Bubba Wallace. If Bubba Wallace was
Kyle Busch should get more of the benefit than Bubba Wallace does because he's run up front more.
Yeah. Kyle Busch won races. Bubba Wallace has 2 career wins.
One of them's rain shortened.
One of them's a rain shortened win at Talladega, and the other one is I could have won in that car at fucking Las Vegas.
Okay.
Or Kansas. But
okay, now
Kyle
can't win that car.
Kurt Busch won that race in that car.
It was still the 23 car.
It's still, but we saw how good the Toyotas were.
I get you. I'll give you that.
It's what I'm saying. Now, granted, he did win the race, so I'll give the man credit. He's not the worst driver on a NASCAR circuit like a lot of people say he is. However, he's not the best either. And he needs to figure that out because he's acting like he is. He's acting like he has all this, respect, and he's got all this authority that he just doesn't have. And, it's just a dumb move. I think it's on character for him. He's childish. He's emotional. He thinks too much with emotion. And this was an emotional thing that he just didn't think about. He needs to use his brain for something else other than to hold his ears apart. It's just dumb. And, it's like I said, it makes it difficult to the other thing makes it harder to criticize what he's doing now because everybody's just talking about what was said on his radio and not talking about the stupid shit that Bubba says or does. And, Bubba's a good enough race car driver to win races and have fans. He should be more popular than he is. The reason he's not popular is not because he's a black man. It's
not NASCAR standards. He's popular. He's probably the most popular NASCAR driver
outside of NASCAR.
Yeah.
Mainstream media loves him. But what I'm saying is he should be more popular inside of NASCAR because he's a good enough driver. He races on a team that's popular and he drives. He's up front often. I mean, he wrecks a lot. Is why he's not up there in points, but he's contending for wins. There's no reason why every NASCAR fan should hate him other than he's got a terrible personality. And I like the fact that he's a NASCAR because it gives us something to talk about. And, if this video finds its way to TikTok or YouTube, it'll probably be one of our most viewed videos because he's polarizing. But it's just dumb. And You know, it reminds me of I don't even know who to compare it to in football or basketball, but there's those players out there like, you know,
Kyrie Irving,
who's polarizing and he gets a lot of talk, even though he doesn't really do anything. You know, he's played in a couple championships because LeBron came back, and you know he's talked about because he teamed up with KD and all this stuff, but he doesn't really do a whole lot other than make waves. And that's Bubba Wallace. If he would just shut the fuck up, get in his car and drive, and say, hey, it doesn't matter what other people think, doesn't matter what other people do. I'm going to sit in my race car and I'm going to go as fast as I can. And if I win, great. If I finish second, great. It is what it is. But he just doesn't do that. And it's immaturity and it's emotional, not logic. So, I mean, that's Bubba Wallace. That's what we've come to expect with him.
My issue with what he did is I understand that NASCAR's never really fined anybody recently with Chase Elliott, Christian Eckes, Josh Berry for flipping the bird off. The problem is they are not getting interviewed. When is the most important time to straighten up and talk to the camera and get your emotions in check and to thank everybody that you need to thank? It is after a race or after whatever happened when a fucking TV reporter is right there with a camera right there. Chase Elliott just got wrecked when he got dumped at Darlington by Kyle Busch. He gave him the bird. There was no camera near him. Now, obviously, I know he knows that there's cameras all around the track, and there's going to be a camera that catches it. But he's not getting interviewed at that moment. He's not thanking his sponsors at that moment. Same thing with Josh Berry, Christian Eckes, all of them. Literally, who was interviewing him? Jamie Little was literally talking as he did it. Was starting the interview on camera as he did that. Let me ask you something. If Ross Chastain does that, are we giving him the same benefit of the doubt? No, we are not. And that is my problem with Bubba Wallace. You can do that when you get out the car and there's not Jamie Little or Regan Smith or Josh, whoever
Sims.
Josh Sims is standing right beside you. If they're not standing right beside you, do that. That's fine. I don't give a shit. But you got a TV camera right there, live feed, Jamie Little interviewing. You know it's going to go on broadcast TV, and you still do something stupid like that. And I get it's a joke, and he's just messing around with his friend. Wait till the cameras are off. Wait till before she starts the interview to do that shit. That's a terrible time to do that. That makes your sponsors look terrible. Makes you look terrible. And I'm not just saying, if Chase Elliott did this, I would have a problem with that. Okay? It doesn't matter who you are. You cannot do that during a live interview when you know it's going to go on broadcast TV. So I'm not saying a fine should have been in the works, but I think something should have happened. You know, you can't, I mean, when fucking other sports, NBA players get fined at press conferences for cussing when they're on, especially during the playoffs and, big time moments. They get fined for cussing. Bubba Wallace flipping the bird is saying, fuck you in front of a camera. Is what he is saying. So, I mean, I'm not trying to make a bigger deal out of what it is, but we can't go around and comparing this shit to Chase Elliott and all these other guys who just get out of their cars, just got wrecked. All these other guys got wrecked. Bubba Wallace finished fucking second in the All-Star race. And he did that with a reporter standing right there talking as the interview started. How stupid can you be?